Welcome back, friends. The recently passed farm bills provide a lot of alternatives to the farmers. Unfortunately, in the backdrop of these bills getting passed, we find that the Shiromani Akali Dal has disassociated itself from the NDA. They are some of the oldest coalition partners in the NDA. And Harsimran Kaur Badal has resigned as a union minister. Now, the opposition parties are talking that the procurement prices which the government was paying to the farmers would be now withdrawn with these introduction of these farm bills. It cannot be far from the truth, friends. The government has to purchase a certain amount of cereals and grains from these farmers nevertheless, because they have to fill their ration shops. That is the public distribution system of the government of India. Secondly, the great part of these farm bills is that the farmers now get the independence to sell their products to whoever they desire across the length and breadth of India. They are not restricted to the states where they are sowing their crops anymore. This independence is great for the farmers. It gives them immense opportunity. They can enter into contract farming agreements with major companies. And these companies will not only be able to give a good price to the farmers, but they can also provide the latest technology, because it is in their interest that the farmers grow crops which they can use for their own production purposes. The best case that comes to mind is the e-Chopals of ITC. Now, the e-Chopals became so popular. ITC had set up e-Chopals procurement centers with electronic information capabilities. So the farmers could see that what was the price that they were getting in the e-Chopals as compared to the international prices. The farm bills that have been passed by the Modi government are only going to give more transparency to the pricing mechanism, and is going to only help cutting the middleman and bring more transparency and bring them closer to the place where they can get the best value for their buck. One has to know or keep in mind that farm sizes have become rather small these days. If you were to look at history, and if you were to look at the period from 1970-71 to 2015-16, you will find that the number of farms have more than doubled from 71 million to 145 million, while the average farm size has more than halved from 2.28 hectares to 1.08 hectares. Now, with such tiny lands, how much can you produce? There was an initial temptation for cereals, but the cereals are not extremely profitable proposition for these farmers. Therefore, they go into animal husbandry, vegetables, fruit, which gives them more value per hectare and is pretty much helpful to the farmers to get more value addition from the land that they possess. This is already land sizes have been cut to half as per the data which I just gave to you. Contract farming is something which will create great amount of economies for the farmers. They can club together and enter into contractual agreements with these major multinationals, major procurement companies, and they can get a good minimum price. They will also be getting transparency, because they will get to know what is the price as is prevalent in different parts of the world. Now, ITC did a great job with these e-Chopals, but this was not much of a profitable proposition for ITC. As a result, you found that the rivals have not rushed to copy this idea. So it's not that, they are saying that the Modi government is trying to work in favor of multinationals and all, Pepsi and others who are procuring from these farmers. but the evidence does not bear it out. In fact, not many multinationals have really have benefited from this contract farming per se. Besides, contract farming will encourage group farming, and this is really very helpful to the small farmers, as I just explained. The Essential Commodities Act was enacted some time back, but this was something where the farmers, when the prices were going up, they did not benefit, but when they were going down, then that was the point of time where they stood to get at least some minimum price. In practice, the essential commodities price did something like this. They were not protected if the prices of the potatoes or the cotton or whatever or onions fell, okay, but they when they were rising, they were the investment which was there in these farms, which was there, was protected by the government. That the little investment in the agri warehouses that are essential for farming in other countries, similar story will be adapted in the case of India as well. Some politicians think that the government procurement will be reduced because of these farm bills that are proposed to be passed. That's really not the case. However, one should realize, if we depend entirely on the government to procure and to provide a minimum support price, or MSP as it is popularly called, to the farmers, then that can lead to an excess supply and storage of many items which may not be even needed. Best example is in the case of the European Union. They were at one point of time giving so much of MSP to their respective farmers, or the minimum support price, that they had excess supply of milk, of meat, and all this had to be eventually sold at a loss to the Soviet Union. They changed thereafter to provide cash support instead, and that has worked pretty nicely. India is shifting in a similar direction with the Telangana's Ritu Bandhu scheme of 10,000 rupees per acre, and the Modi's PM Kisan scheme, 6,000 rupees per acre. But one of the good ones that really should be implemented is the Odisha's Kalia Scheme. This provides cash transfers of about 10,000 rupees per acre, and it goes not just to the landowners but also the tenants and the sharecroppers. Rupees 12,500 to landless households to start poultry, goat rearing and fisheries. Rupees 25,000 over 5 years for the small and marginal farmers to buy inputs, and insurance benefits as well, which is exceptionally important. In sum, the farmers need the freedom to sell, to move out of agriculture and cash support rather than the high minimum support price that the government has been providing till now is the need of the hour. These farm bills will give great independence to the farmers to reach out to whoever who needs their product the best. With the reducing size of the lands, they stand to great disbenefit. By coming together, they can jointly negotiate properly with these contract farms, with the multinationals who need their products a lot, and this is going to be ultimately very beneficial to the farmers. So I think kudos to the Modi government for bringing in great transparency, to removing the middlemen and making things completely transparent for everybody. I think the greatest benefit that Modi government has brought in is trying to eliminate middlemen wherever they can. They have tried to make things straight and direct, and that is one of the hallmarks of the Modi administration. I'm not trying to be a protege of them, but I think that one of the greatest advantages that the Modi government has brought in, and we must appreciate in that regard. Friends, we will come up with another topic. This was my support to the farm bills, and today the President of India has given assent to the farm bills as well, so it is law. And I think fantastic job by the Modi government, and look forward to seeing you all soon again. Happy investing. Take care. Bye.